Hi, it's attorney Jamie Miller, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of the Miller Law Chronicles, where we will simplify the legal maze by giving you confidence and clarity as you go through the legal process. And today we're going to talk about something that's really important to my clients, and it's really important to me, and that's quality transportation. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to clients where they've told me that they lost their job because they don't have a reliable car, or they weren't able to get their kids to school on time or to daycare because their car broke down. Now, when people file bankruptcy, they often think that filing bankruptcy is going to make it impossible to get a car. But I'm proud to say that we've established a relationship with Ash Auto Group. Ash Auto Group is a national used car sales company that helps clients get cars at a reasonable interest rate with a warranty at a reasonable monthly payment of a late model car day one after they file bankruptcy. I know that sounds hard to believe, but they do and will do what they say they do. And today we're going to talk to Jonas Ash from the Ash Auto Group. And Jonas is going to tell you the truth about getting a car day one out of bankruptcy, and how you can have great credit, and how getting that car is going to help you get that 720 credit score that you've always wanted in 18 to 24 months after you file a bankruptcy. He'll talk about how to do it through Chapter 13 or Chapter 7 and what some of the requirements are to get that car. So excited to share this with you today. Listen in to Jonas. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Miller Law Chronicles, and I'm excited that we're here today, so excited to be joined by my good friend Jonas Ash of the Ash Auto Group. And today we're going to spend a few minutes talking about how our bankruptcy clients and those that are in financial distress have the ability to get cars and get transportation with the help of Ash Auto Group. And I'd like to welcome in Jonas. Thank you so much for joining us. And Jonas, tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got into this business.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. It's a real pleasure to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. So it's kind of an interesting path. A lot of folks want to know how Ash Auto Group Bankruptcy Specialists really became the only dealership in the country that solely focuses on helping consumer bankruptcy clients hopefully get into a better vehicle position. And it's a non-traditional route. So I actually don't have a dealership or an auto background. My background is finance. So I worked in the finance world for several years. I actually transitioned over to the software world, was an executive for some big companies there. And, my brother had a similar path. And, we just kind of got fed up with the car purchasing experience and thought that there was a better way to do it, and kind of struck out on our own, purchased a couple vehicles to sell, and kind of went from there. And we realized very quickly that you can't stick a toe into something like a car dealership. There's a lot of overhead associated, and you really have to put all the chips on the table. So we were in business for about, I'd say, 4 years at the time, and we were still trying to find our identity, competing against these huge franchise dealerships, all these ads on TV, and we were the small guys. Just our customer service and our price were the only ways we could actually compete. And then a pivotal event happened. About 4 years ago at this point. I had family friends, mom and dad filed bankruptcy, and a few days later I actually saw them, and they showed up in a brand new vehicle. And right off the lot, all the options, were very proud of it. And my first thought was, with depreciation, when you purchase a new vehicle, 15 to 20% when you drive off the lot, I was surprised that someone that had just filed bankruptcy could be in a position to even have the option to make a financial decision like that. And I think this is why a lot of companies start or pivot and reinvent themselves is when you see an underserved market, when you see an opportunity to help people that need help the most. And that's really, I felt extremely strong about this. And I looked into, what it would take to essentially set our dealership up to only focus on helping bankruptcy clients so they weren't going to get taken advantage of, so that we could actually use this as an opportunity with their vehicles as part of the consumer bankruptcy filing process to set them up for financial success going forward. So, with that experience, I figured out which lenders we needed to be working with that had these special programs, really good interest rates for bankruptcy clients. I took credit counseling classes. I sat in on bankruptcy proceedings. I learned everything I could about the consumer process, the folks that would be filing, as well as what the attorneys would go through in that process for Chapter 7s, Chapter 13s, and really spent a couple years reinventing our entire business to solely cater towards serving consumer bankruptcy clients and helping them navigate the auto process as part of their Chapter 7 or 13 filings.
I tell you what, Jonas, you and I have known each other for 6 months, and one of the things that is so critically important to me, and such a critical problem in our community here in Wisconsin at this time, is transportation needs. And I have always been so frustrated, whether it's been in the bankruptcy world or the non-bankruptcy world, how people who are in financial distress are so taken advantage of by the auto industry and end up putting themselves in a position where they purchase a car and they're actually in worse shape after they purchase the car versus after. It's I think it's the buy here, pay here, people out there in industry that is causing a huge problem. Tell me how you guys are able to get around that. Someone in Wisconsin, they need a car, they can go get a car at a 30% interest rate and a car that's model year 10 years old. Tell me how you guys are different.
Yeah, no, it's actually, car buying in general it's a scary experience. I don't care what your credit is, what your financial position is. You essentially have to go in with your guard up and hope for the best and try to navigate it, as best you can. When someone that's going through has recently filed bankruptcy or is getting ready to file bankruptcy goes to purchase a vehicle, I mean, it's really blood in the water, and I hate to put it that way, but the dealership is going to know that you really have no leverage at that point. They're going to be able to put you in the vehicle that they want to put you in, not necessarily the one you want or one that makes the most financial sense. The interest rates are going to be what they're going to be. They're going to try to get a down payment. It doesn't matter, that you're in this special situation. And this isn't a knock against the dealerships. It's just that is the model that has been created and is in place, essentially every dealership at ours across the country. We're completely opposite. So first of all, we always have, for qualifying clients, and this is a special program, but for those that qualify, it's based on income, we always have a zero down option. So other dealerships are set up, that's how their salespeople are getting paid, is based on commission. Doesn't matter if you're going through bankruptcy, how much money can I get for that down payment, because that's going to go right to my paycheck. We completely take that off the table and structure ourselves differently here. So, and once we do that, it kind of opens up the opportunity to really help people, look at them individually, look at their situation case by case, and have a different strategy that suits a specific client's needs. You mentioned buy here, pay here. The whole point of the bankruptcy process is to get our clients, Miller and Miller clients, your clients, my clients, into a better financial position, set them up for long-term success, eventually get them into a house, things like that. So with our loans, these are next to a home loan. Ash auto loans report to all the major agencies that are out there. They are one of the fastest credit rebuilding weapons that are going to be available for someone that's just filing bankruptcy. If you go to a buy here, pay here, that's essentially, like renting a vehicle. That's going to do nothing to build back your credit. The interest rates are going to be whatever that dealership sets. They're not regulated by national lenders like ours are. And, really in that model, it's sad because it kind of sets a client up for failure. They know there's an expectation there that they will be able to repossess that vehicle at some point and resell it again at full price to another client. And that's actually built into their business models. So we are about the furthest you can get, long-term success, rebuild your credit. We even do extra things with our vehicles. Every vehicle we sell includes warranty. Okay? So, and again, remember, this all goes back to zero down. Our clients are bankruptcy clients. They don't have a lot of cash laying around that they can go for a big down payment. So we include things like warranty at zero down. It's part of the loan process. You don't have to pay up front. Same thing with gap coverage. So if a vehicle shows up and you have an accident, it's covered up to 150%. And we include that on all vehicles we sell as well. And those things are, both of those items are very critical and things that clients will have to pay for out of pocket up front. But they don't here. And the reason why, my brother and I sat down and we really kind of reinvented ourselves and started learning more information about the bankruptcy process. And it just kind of went back to one question. Are we fully committed to trying to do what's in the best interest of these clients? And if the answer is yes, then we have to include warranty. We have to include gap coverage. The vehicles before they're listed for sale have to be meticulous. We have to go through them and make sure that every way possible we are setting folks up for success. A lot of people don't realize it, but next to monthly housing expenses, 85% of the time, the next biggest fixed monthly expense is going to be auto loans for these clients. Vehicles are really, really important. And if you're coming out of the bankruptcy process and do not have a solid auto strategy in place, chances of success are going to be reduced. And we don't sell vehicles to all the clients that are referred to us. Some folks are in a good position. Maybe they have some equity in their vehicle. Maybe they have a really good interest rate. And we just consult. We provide information, and if it makes sense to do something with us, great. And if not, we give them the information that we'd want to have, and best of luck when they do need to make a decision down the road. And that's why it works.
Yeah, and one of the things I appreciate, and this isn't a sales pitch, when our clients come to us and they need transportation, we provide them with options. Some people are nervous. So we are here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and you're actually in Arizona. Mm-hmm. So if I refer a client to you from Wisconsin, how do they get a car?
Sure. Great question. And so right now we're actually working, every day from Arizona, and folks across the country love getting our vehicles. We source pretty much everything from the Southwest. So, we don't have some of the elements you guys do with the snow and the salt and the rust and whatnot. But every day we have transports leaving Scottsdale, Arizona, nationwide. We're in about, 35 different states right now that we work with clients. And, the process, I actually explain it, since we specialize in this specific area, and this is all we do, it's actually much easier for a client in Delaware and Wisconsin, anywhere in the country, to get a vehicle from Ash Auto Group than it is to go to a local dealership that doesn't specialize in helping bankruptcy clients. And we've found that to be the case consistently. So we try to keep the process as easy as possible. Again, when we set up this dealership, we try to get as far away from a traditional route as we could, and you'll see that in our model. So what we do is, very easy. We'll talk to the client. We do what we like to call a 5-minute auto consult. So we'll have a scheduled time. We'll talk to the client, give them some information about our program, really get information about their current situation, see if we can help. And if we can, we'll get some basic requirements that the lenders need. We'll get a vehicle picked out, and we'll have everything in place leading up to their filing appointment. So literally, the day that the case is filed, we'll ship the vehicle out to the place of work or their house, free of charge. Again, this is all at zero down, and it's a pretty cool experience end to end. And if you look up our dealership online, right now I think we're the highest rated used car dealership in the Southwest, and that's for any used car dealership. And all of our reviews are from bankruptcy clients, the majority of which are buying vehicles, across the country from us. So.
And you had talked about a couple benefits, and one thing was zero down. So if a client comes to you and they meet the income requirements, which you guys do a free consult and you can talk to them about that. But if they qualify and they have terrible credit, right? They're 600, but they meet the income requirement, are they able to still get a car from you after the bankruptcy is filed?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there's really about 7 main banks in the country that are kind of the biggest players that really focus on helping bankruptcy clients with auto finance. If you go to a local dealership and they do help bankruptcy clients, they're probably going to work with one lender, because the majority of the business is not going to be bankruptcy. We actually spent, I think it took about 7 years, about 7 years total to get in with all 7 of the main banks. So what we do is we will actually get a basic credit application, submit that information to all of our lenders, and then we see what the best deal is for the client, what the best interest rate is, what the best payment, and it actually opens up a lot more opportunity for us to get deals done, to get clients in a better situation than it would if, like I said, you went to a dealership locally that doesn't focus on this space and only has one option. So if a client has a repo, if they have a couple repos, still we're able to, a lot of times we're able to get these folks in a better vehicle position, because we've been doing this for so long and we are kind of the leaders in this space.
Right. And what, it's day one after bankruptcy. What type of interest rate, could someone look at in a post-bankruptcy type situation?
Absolutely. So obviously very important, and the federal interest rates have gone up quite a bit over the last year. We follow that very closely. The rates that we get are directly impacted by that, so we're hoping things stabilize there. But traditionally, we've been in the 7 to 17% range. Now we are seeing some clients that are 17 to 18%, but that's usually the high end of what we do. And again, we might, if we're submitting to 7 different banks, usually we can find one that's going to be lower within the threshold that we like, that's going to put the client in a better situation. I think the latest statistics we had were about 90% of our clients were able to lower their monthly payment and interest rate. Now that's, car prices have been up a little bit, that's fluctuated, but we are very confident that we can get our clients into a much better situation. And we see that, pretty much all day long, every day.
And if someone is interested in buying a car from Ash, a lot of people, especially in Wisconsin, they like to touch and feel what they're purchasing. How, with you guys being an online and very personal, high level of customer service, how do people know that it's the right car, and how do they search for a car if they're going through Ash?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can always, all of our inventory is always listed and available at ashautogroup.com. And, and again, since the majority of our business is going out of state and folks in the same position we're talking about as Miller and Miller clients, we try to be as transparent as possible. So we provide, free Carfax on every vehicle for our clients, whether they ask for it or not. In our listings online, you will see a full vehicle condition report that's available. You can pull up, and it shows everything that we did to that vehicle prior to it being available for sale. So we put new tires on every vehicle we sell. all the filters. If the brakes are even close to needing change, we change those. We try to make sure these vehicles, they're used cars, we try to make sure they're as close to perfect as possible before they're ever listed for sale. Then as far as the actual process go, we'll do FaceTime walk-arounds with the client. We will do whatever is needed to make sure that the client is absolutely comfortable, with the situation, with the purchase before the vehicle actually leaves. And if we weren't doing that, our reviews that I just spoke about, we wouldn't be anywhere close. It has to be a transparent process from the start and continue throughout the entire process so that when folks do get these vehicles, they are thrilled and there's no issues. And
So
again, it all ties together with the warranty, with the way the inspections before we ever list them for sale. I say that we don't have salespeople here. We really have consultants. We're just providing a service and trying to see if we can help folks get into a better spot.
Right, so I'm looking at your website right now and looking at the cars. The photos are great, but I'm seeing newer model type cars. A 2019 Chevy Colorado, a 2007 Jeep Cherokee, a Toyota Prius, a Kia Forte. These are really nice cars. And so, even someone who's just in bankruptcy, are they able to get a later model type car?
Yeah. So every vehicle that you see on here is eligible for our zero down program for bankruptcy clients. So most of our vehicles are between 3 to 4 years old, around 80,000 miles or less. We do that strategically so that we can have, back to why we changed our whole business model. We want the depreciation taken out of these vehicles so that when clients buy them, they're going to have a little bit of equity in the vehicle and be in a good spot going forward. We don't want them to take a hit immediately when they drive it off the lot. So we're very selective. My brother does all the buying. He's one of the best auto buyers in the country. And yeah, all of these vehicles, and we try to have a good selection. We know clients need third row SUVs. We know that they need trucks for work. Some folks want, something, they're specific to a brand. So we really try to keep a wide range, and I think you can see that just based on what we have listed here.
What is Carketa?
Carketa, so that's a software we use for our reconditioning side of the business. So when a vehicle is purchased, from auctions and brought in here to Arizona, every vehicle goes through a rigorous process where we inspect and, we have a full mechanic staff that goes through them. We have tints, we have interior detailers, we have exterior, we have, about 20 or 30 different trades that we work with before the vehicle is ever listed for sale. And we just added a brand new reconditioning facility actually to make sure that we're handling that and giving the attention to these vehicles that we need. So yeah, Carketa is that solution. And me being, I worked at Oracle for several years, we use a lot of software here. I kind of consider this more of an IT business as much as it is a used car dealership. So.
Right. And if I look at other buy here, pay here type dealerships, and I don't want to soil anybody's business name, but I was looking at a buy here, pay here place the other day, and the cars that are on their website, they look really nice and they're cleaned up. Most of them were 2015 or 2014 or older type cars, and many of them had mileage of over 100,000 miles. And that always concerns me because our clients are employed, they have kids, they got to get to daycare, they got to get to work. Having solid transportation is really one of the most important things to rebuilding one's financial future. And so not only are you getting more late model cars, 2017 or later, from looking at your website or close to that area, but also you're sending the car with a warranty. And tell me what that means.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we are in business for one reason, to help people. to help people that are filing bankruptcy get into a better position, set them up for financial success, utilizing vehicles to do that. So if we're committed to that, we have to, and the cars are going out of state. So like I said, we do include warranty on everything we sell. That's part of the plan. And with warranties, there's a huge variation for those folks that are familiar. Some warranties, unless an engine blows up, it's not, whatever else happens isn't going to be covered. Ours are fully comprehensive 4-year warranties. And that means that if, a windshield wiper motor breaks, boom, you can take it in and get it fixed. And the company that we work with has about 10,000 locations across the country. And, again, this is a full service. Once the vehicle is sold, if they need help navigating, finding a place to do the warranty work, we provide all the information. We're not going away. We're going to support our clients and our customers, as long as we need to make sure that they have a great experience with it. But that's a very important aspect of what we do here. And, these are used cars. Things do happen, so we want to make sure we take every step we can to set these clients up for success, so that if something does happen, that they're not going to be back to square one, that they're in a good spot moving forward. And Jamie, I was just looking through the list of some of the vehicles that we've sold to Miller and Miller clients recently, and I think it's a pretty good, gives you a pretty clear picture of the type of vehicles that are going out. So we had 2019 Dodge Journey, that's an SUV with a third row. 2015 Buick Encore, 2017 Chevrolet Equinox, 2015 Mercedes-Benz C-Class, 2018 Nissan Rogue. Small SUVs are really popular. We usually have quite a few of those on hand. Same thing with the 2019 Mazda CX-5. It's a small 4-door sports utility. Those are really popular amongst our clients. But again, it's a variety of things. Some folks are just looking to get qualified on, just get into transportation. My car just got repoed and I need to get into something right away. This is all I qualify for. What can you do? So it's really, it's different needs. It's be able to be very specific to what each client needs personally to set them up for success. A lot of times we look at this as the car before the car. Let's get you into something. Let's get your credit rebuilt back up. Let's get you into a better interest rate, and then from there we can take it and see where we go.
Right, and I have many clients that come to me and they have a car. They're up to date on their car payments. It could be a 2014, Chevy Malibu. They're paying $300 biweekly. They are up to date on the payments, but oftentimes I will say, listen, you're paying $600 a month on a car that's worth $7,000.
Yeah.
You owe $18,000. So when people come to us for bankruptcy and talking about it, and they're so underwater on their car, one of the first things I do is I'll get them set up for a free auto consultation with you guys. That way they can decide, because in the bankruptcy they could say, you know what, I'm going to surrender that Chevy Malibu that's getting me a monthly payment of $600 a month, that God forbid it's in an accident, I'm going to be underwater thousands of dollars. And all of a sudden you're able to consult with them and deliver a car at $450 a month, a much better car with a warranty. So it gives people the freedom to get out of a car that's really hurting them financially. But how do I know for sure? Like if someone needs to file bankruptcy, they're going to file bankruptcy June 1st. How can they be assured and have confidence that they can stop making payments on that old car and surrender it in the bankruptcy and get a new car through Ash? Yeah,
absolutely. I kind of phrase it as, there's really a one-time get-out-of-jail-free card that's with vehicles with the consumer bankruptcy process. And whether someone moves forward with that or not, they at least deserve to have the information. And what I mean is there's an opportunity to replace your current vehicle, and we see that all day long. I mean, the depreciation on these vehicles is crazy. I'd say about 90% of our clients are upside down on their vehicles. And remember, we're dealing with folks all across the country at this point, and it's just they owe a lot more than the car's worth, right? And then, if you factor in a high interest rate and some other factors there, deferred maintenance and whatnot, it really, the vast majority of the time, it makes sense for them to get into a better vehicle at a better interest rate that's been maintained, that has warranty on it. There's just so many positives about it. But yeah, absolutely. So to your question, so with our process, once a client has qualified, they've been pre-approved on a vehicle, we actually assign that vehicle to them, and we work with them very close every single day, updates. We let them know when everything will be finalized. It's all going to be based around their filing date. And we make sure that all of our ducks in a row prior to any payments being stopped or anything like that. We will never put a client in a spot where we send them down a path, get their hopes up, and then they have to pivot and change course at the end. That doesn't happen with us. We are very thorough. We understand how important transportation is to our clients, and that they cannot be without it.
And are you able to service people that that don't file bankruptcy also?
We are. So we're set up with, all the biggest credit unions and lenders out there. Bankruptcy is our specialty, but a lot of the firms we work with, the attorneys end up getting vehicles from us, and we're absolutely set up for that. Although our model, our inventory, everything is kind of geared towards, consumer bankruptcy clients. So the answer is yes. But the vast majority of what we do is for bankruptcy.
And you, the other thing that's interesting is that, you're taking away the pressure of going into a dealership and dealing with a salesperson. I had a client last week that wanted some information from Ash. I met with them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And they decided, listen, I'd like to check things out and see if I can get into a different car if I surrender my current car. And I was able to, through your technology links, to get someone on a consult right away, like 2 hours later. Made me look good. I love that because you're often able to talk to people same day. People have urgencies to get this thing taken care of. But if I do refer a client filing bankruptcy that needs a car, what's that consult look like? Is it? I mean, I just don't want high pressure. I don't want people to feel like they got to give their credit card. What's that experience like? That first contact?
Yeah, absolutely. So we set this up the way we want to be treated if we were in that. So our consults, really easy. They're typically 5 minutes or less. Folks can step out at work and take them. They can take them in a car. We just essentially schedule someone. Out of respect to the client, we like to have a set time on the calendar where they know we're going to call them, and we just sync up. We don't ask for any credit cards or anything like that. We really just kind of explain a little bit about who we are. And the majority of it is just understanding what their current situation is, what vehicle they're in, what kind of maintenance it has, what's your interest rate, your payment, and see if we can, potentially get them in a better situation. Very passive, a lot of good information. Everybody, whether they end up moving forward with our program or not, everybody sees a benefit in their auto consult because we will give them, if they do end up keeping their vehicle, we'll explain, what it's worth now, what the expected depreciation is, some of the maintenance concerns that could come up. So if they do go to a different dealership down the road, they're equipped to handle those discussions better. So there's really no downside. There's definitely no pressure.
And are you, like you read off a list of cars that some of our clients were able to get from you. What would you say like an average payment could look like for somebody?
Sure. So, obviously there's quite a bit of variance in there, but we're typically looking at 400 to 600 depending on the individual client and, their credit, their history, their, all those different things that are worked in there. But, it's It's actually really sad. I mean, I see a lot of folks coming to us with maybe a 30% interest rate, and it's just kind of breaks my heart. I just don't know how anyone, regardless of your situation, can get ahead if you're in a car that's, you owe more than it's worth and you have that interest rate compounding on top of it. It's just a very challenging situation. So when we do it, and we're very lean, we're a small family business here. There's not some big board we have to get approval from and whatnot. We're growing pretty quick, but it'll always be a small family business feel. It's my brother and I that own the dealership, and we're going to get the best interest rates we can. Like I said, typically 7 to 17%. Now we're seeing a little bit higher, and we're going to get the best monthly payments we can. We're always going to keep it at 0 down. I mean, these are just things that other dealerships, they're just not equipped to be this nimble and make these kind of adjustments for a specific clientele. And that's why we kind of really had to reinvent ourselves and go all in if we were really going to help, bankruptcy clients.
Right. And it's not only helping bankruptcy clients in the moment to get the car that they need to survive, but it's also it runs parallel with our mission at Miller & Miller to help people file bankruptcy and not just get rid of the debt, but put them on the path to getting a 720 credit score.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you're dealing with, Jonas, on your team, credible lenders that report to the credit bureau in tandem with the program that we're running our clients through, I've seen and I can testify that our clients in partnership with Ash are seeing their credit score rise to 720 within the 18 to 24 months after filing. And it's allowing them, and they may be in an interest rate that's not great. 7 to 17% is awesome.
Yeah.
It's much better than where they are. But that next car, hopefully interest rates will lower. Mm-hmm. They're going to be in a much better position. I'm just so grateful to be able to team up with you and establish this partnership. I can tell you that I always have your phone number and your website and your email right next to me, but if someone wanted to reach out to you guys directly, what's the best way to reach you? Is it through the website? Is there a number to call?
I think going to our website is probably the best way, and it's just ashautogroup.com. It's got our phone number on there. It's got some videos about what the client experience is like. You can reach out to us anytime. We're available, and yeah, we'd love to help as many folks as we can. That's why we're in this business, and we are so appreciative of the partnership and the trust that Miller & Miller has with us. Your clients are amazing, and the team is amazing up there, and it creates a special opportunity to really help people, and that's what we're all about, and that's why from a moral standpoint, it's such a great fit with our two organizations. We're just every day trying to help people, and it's a very special opportunity for us.
Right, and I remember when I introduced you to our team, and they had this look, too good to be true, 0 down, reasonable monthly payment, reasonable interest rate, gap insurance, warranties. All of those things are just so counterintuitive to what our clients are experiencing, and I really want to thank you for having an incredible mission-driven business and serving our bankruptcy clients not only here in Wisconsin but throughout the country. You're just doing great work, Jonas, and I really appreciate your time today. And I look forward to a future of continuing this partnership long into the future. And thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate it.